I debated about discussing in the beginning of the program also the death of Michael Jackson, Yamach Shmo v'zichro Shem Rashaim Yirkav, which means may his name and memory be obliterated, and may the name of the wicked rot, which is a traditional Jewish curse for evil people. Michael Jackson started out his career as a boy singing with others in his family. They made huge amounts of money. Unbelievable amounts of money. In the early 1980s alone, Michael Jackson sold 50 million copies of one album and then 50 million of a second album. The amount of money that he was generating from that, plus the royalties, plus everything else, plus the commercials and all the companies that used him for their commercial benefit. He should have been worth $1 billion now. He should have been worth $1 billion now. Just to give you a comparison, Paul McCartney from the Beatles is a billionaire. He's a billionaire, Paul McCartney from the Beatles, because he wisely invested and saved his money like a civilized person. I don't like a lot of the things the Beatles stood for. The Beatles defended drug use and were anti-American and socialism and the song Imagine by John Lennon is a song about atheism and they're anti-religious. So I'm no fan of the Beatles. But even though some of their music they were talented musicians, but their political views and their social views were horrific. But at least Paul McCartney, put his money in a normal place and saved his money like a normal human being. Michael Jackson should have been a billionaire also with all of the money he made over so many decades. He should have also been a billionaire by now. Instead, he died in massive debt. He was massively in debt. Where did all the money go? What did he do? Where did everything go? I mean, just disgusting. And the most disgusting thing, of course, is that this was a child molesting rapist. The very first child that Michael Jackson raped was a 14-year-old Jewish boy. I don't know what his name is, but he was a 14-year-old Jewish boy that Michael Jackson invited over to his estate. And this was way before he got arrested. This was an earlier case, about 25 years ago. And Michael Jackson raped and attacked this Jewish boy. And the Jewish boy threatened to file charges, and Jackson would have been arrested then, and there would have been all types of publicity then. But Jackson settled out of court with the Jewish boy. I think he bought him off for something like $20 million. The estimate is that he gave him $20 million to shut up and not to file charges. And that's what happened. But because of that, he expressed all types of vicious anti-Semitism, and that's why he sang the song, Sue Me, Jew Me. He sang in Brazil because he was a vicious anti-Semite, Michael Jackson. He also expressed anti-white views, even though he himself obviously wanted to be white. He became a Muslim, of course, in the end. He and his brothers were Muslims. I mean, just typical of everything, of the sickness, the nauseating sickness of black America. This is black America. They can't handle money. You give them wealth, they lose everything and go deep into debt. They attack children and molest and rape little children. They're perverted. They engage in the most perverse sex. When they get caught, they play the race card. They do the most insane things. Look at what he did to his face and the surgeries and what a sick person this was. And with all of this child molesting, rapist, drug addict, piece of garbage who looked like a monster after all of his surgeries, is literally being worshipped by the news media and the Hollywood people. And it's like some big loss to society that this animal finally died, Baruch Hashem, thank God. So it's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. It's absolutely incredible. And make no mistake about it, Michael Jackson represents black America. Remember, Al Sharpton's sister had sex with Al Sharpton's father. They had Al Sharpton's father and sister had an incestuous relationship, and Al Sharpton's sister gave birth to Al Sharpton's half-brother as a result of that relationship. Al Sharpton has a half-brother that his sister gave birth to. His sister gave birth to a baby after she slept with Al Sharpton's father. The father and daughter slept with each other in an incestuous relationship in the Sharpton family. Al Sharpton's father and Al Sharpton's sister had sex and slept with each other. Al Sharpton's sister became pregnant and gave birth to Al Sharpton's half-brother. These are the role models in the black community. These are the role models. Michael Jackson, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. Look at Jesse Jackson, another role model. He was counseling Bill Clinton on adultery. And Bill Clinton said that he's my minister. He's my minister. He was coming to the White House with his secretary, a black secretary that he came to the White House with. Jesse Jackson came to the White House with his black secretary to counsel Bill Clinton and to pray for him and to explain to him why he shouldn't commit adultery. And while Jesse Jackson was counseling him and ministering to him and praying to him about the adultery, Jesse Jackson himself was committing adultery with the very black secretary that he was bringing to the White House, and made the black secretary who was bringing to the White House pregnant as well, and had a child, and she had a child with Jesse Jackson. That's the other role model for the black community. And by the way, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are all deep in debt and don't pay their debts and steal money and are all corrupt, and their organizations are corrupt, and their organizations get away with never paying their debts, millions of dollars in debts, and white people pay for everything for them. White people give them everything, and they hate and resent white people. I mean, this is black America. This is Michael Jackson. This is Jesse Jackson. This is Al Sharpton. This is Louis Farrakhan. This is the black rap pieces of garbage in Hollywood. And this is Barack Hussein Obama. This is the future of America if we don't wake up.